Hi, I'm Dave Dahlberg from Clearbrook, Minnesota. I run a cow-calf operation there, and we've been building these squeeze chutes and alleys and tubs and portables and handling equipment and livestock handling equipment for 20 years. And I'd like to show you our portable system that I have here. This is made up of our squeeze chute, alley, and tub, all in one piece. You can buy it individually, or you can buy it as a unit like this one is. So as I go through and show you this unit, you can kind of keep in mind that you could be getting just a squeeze chute, just an alley, or just a tub, but this is what it's like when it's all one unit. I'm going to start with the head gate. Our head gate that we sell, for the most part, is a self-catching head gate. Animal walks into it, it's caught, and our head gate has an automatic reset to it. So when an animal goes through, this head gate's going to reset itself right back to where it previously was. Now our head gate has a number of different positions where you can set it from a small calf to a big animal. And it's right here in these pins, top and bottom, that you take out, and you can slide the pipes in and out to fit the animal size that's coming through. We have one other adjustment here. I call it the tweaking turn. And what you can do is just turn this wing nut in or out, which limits how far back the pipes go to define how big of a size you want for the animal that you're catching. Our equipment has all the levers on both left and right hand side. So if I do something on this side, I can do the same thing on the other side, starting with this head gate having handles on both sides. I want to show you this little piece right here. This is just an option that's with this chute or our portables, or it's on our chutes. And what it does, it allows us to hold the head gate locked open. By doing this, you can use this as a great tool for loading cattle out in the pasture or in your farmyard, by your barn, wherever you might want to load cattle. This locks the head gate open, so now it can't go shut on you when you back your stock trailer up to it, or if you back your have your loading chute against here and you put your semi up against it. This is going to stay open. Now this works really tremendous because the cattle can come into that tub in the back. They run right up through the alleyway, come across the squeeze chute, and right up into your trailer or whatever you're loading it into. Our head gates come narrow at the top and wide down through the bottom. So if an animal is to drop down, they're not going to get their neck or head caught. And then going up, we leave it together here or narrower so that they don't flip their head up and hit and be able to release themselves. And we have a big piece in here that's for that protection also. This is our brisket bar that's in here, and we found that to be really helpful. The cattle don't kneel down when they've got this brisket bar in here. One of the first times we were experimenting with it, we ran probably 100 cows through. We were pregnancy checking, and they all stood right back up again all the way through, and my vet said, "Dave, don't sell another one of these without that brisket bar in it, because it sure keeps the cow standing." Now, that brisket bar will come out real easily if you want to. It's just one pin. One pin is all that holds it in. Our neck shot doors are the widest in the industry. You have a lot of room to get both hands in here. I often go in and do a sub-Q put one hand in, tent it up, the other hand, it's got my needle in it, and I've got plenty of room to work in here and giving a neck shot. Again, either side you can do this on because neck shot door on the other side is exactly the same. Slam shut door. Our equipment is built with 3 S's in mind. We try to build it all really strong. We want to build it safe and try and build it simple. So we've got just slam shut doors, keeping things simple. We try not to have a lot of extra levers and chains and ropes and whatever thing might be for running it. Just keep it simple, keep it safe, keep it strong. If you get just our squeeze chute alone, which runs from back the slick door up here, it weighs over a ton, just the chute alone. Now, on our portable system, we haven't skimped at all. We use a squeeze chute like you'd have if you bought just a regular squeeze chute. We use our alleyways like our alleyways, and we use our tubs like our tubs. So we have put all of our units, the best features, and I mean our whole unit right into making this one big long portable unit. We do use a parallel squeeze, and we have it precision made enough that it really works easy. So here's a 2,500-pound bull. There's a 200-pound calf. Just pull them down, squeeze it. Here at the front we have our cushion springs. We added these so that when an animal hits that head gate, it's actually free to rock right here on the bottom. So the head gate can make a little adjustment for being hit hard, and it can cushion. These springs will cushion the blow of that animal hitting that head gate. On this lever also, it's a notched lever, so you can move it to a different spot if you'd so like, to get it out of your way one way or the other, whatever you'd like to do. You can move that lever around, lock it right up in the air if you'd so like, or down. Just a matter of a little movement. Side open door. Great access, both sides, wide open, lots of room. The door, slam shut. Spring-loaded pin. The bottom door, same thing. I like it because you can funnel a calf right in if you want to get a calf to nurse. If you want to milk a cow out, or if you want to work on the feet of a cow or calf, whatever. And I also use this for semen testing my bulls. It works just great for this room and space to get in here. You'll notice that we have this high. This bar across here is high up, so that when your calf is going into nurse, the calf isn't hitting its head here. And so often if you have just a little bit of space for your calf to get in, they hit their head, and boy, it just seems like they don't want to go in there again after they've once hit their head. Slam shut. These are just a drop-down side. If you need to get in and do some branding, or you've got to do some work on the upper part of the body of your animal, you got great access. These are just nothing to take out, nothing to open up, just let them drop down completely out of your way. And then when you come back up, it's a simple roll pin here that will just roll right up, and gravity will put it right back down in its place. With these pins, you don't bend them or break them or lose them. They just stay in there. Another thing we added to this chute recently was these blinders. And if you stand back in the alleyway here, or just really in the palpation cage, and look forward, it's black on both sides coming in. So the lighted area that your animal's going to see is right here where the head gate is, and it limits the animal from seeing you, from seeing out the sides, and it directs their vision towards the head gate where you'd like them to go. This fiberglass rod we started with about 2.5 years ago, and it's been a big plus. It's a lightweight, nice lightweight, easy handling bar, and in the olden days, you used to put a bar or pipe or post or something in, and you'd take it out, try to get your animal up here and put it in again, and instead of gaining a foot, gaining 6 inches, you'd lose a foot. Well, this is nice because you just leave it in and just ratchet it right up, your animal right up into the head gate. Our floor is a diamond plate molded floor. We used to put bars and pipes across it, and they would bend eventually, and there was always a point where we welded that urine and manure could collect, and it would start to rust in that spot. This way it's easy to clean, it's solid, and it's molded on that diamond plate on the bottom. You'll notice that we put grease zerks on every moving part. So you got a grease zerk here, and you got a grease zerk here, and here, and here, and here, and everywhere on this machine where there's a moving part, there's a grease zerk. This is our slick door here. We have used about every kind of opening that you could think of. We've had slide-out doors, we've had scissor doors, we've had drop gates, and all of those we found had something with a problem, and then we devised this slick door. And the reason we call it a slick door is because the first 6 guys, and this is a true story, the first 6 guys we showed it to all had the same comment, said, "Man, that is so slick." So we call it our slick door. It's like a bifold door. You just give it a pull, it opens, shuts. It's very easy to pull and operate, and it's so fast. That's what I like about it, how quick it is. It doesn't really take up any room. You don't have to have room out to the side. You don't have to have room up above. You just fold it in. Another feature of this is that we are able to lock it open. And again, remember, we want to keep it strong and safe and simple is what this is. Just a gravity pin right here. And so if an animal is coming through and you're off to the side or you're behind it, you're somewhere not close even to it as the animal goes through, just give it a little tug. And now you've closed your door again. Here's another time that I found useful with this. If I'm by myself, which I end up being a number of times working cattle, and I'll come up bringing a cow or something up into here, and I'll get her up into the chute part, I don't want her backing up on me. I've got her locked in right now. This is a nice wide palpation cage. Actually, you can walk right through it if you like, come through from the other side. It's wide open to walk through. Oftentimes, if I need to sort a cow one way or the other, I'll use this. Handles are on both sides, so I got a handle here for my slick door. I can sort a cow to the right, or I can reverse it and sort a cow to the left. Or I can just use it as a walkway to go right through to the other side. About 4 years ago, we changed this chute. And by the way, this is the chute that if you bought just the chute you'd get from the back of this slick door to the front. We changed it to make it bigger, taller, wider, heavier, stronger. And so now we're at the point, I'm 6 feet, and I can walk in here and I still have a lot of room for headroom. And there's a lot of width for a big cow or a bull. If a veterinarian or somebody is in here doing some pregnancy checking or AI breeding or whatever you might want to be doing in here, you don't have to worry about hitting your head because you've got a lot of clearance. On our alley section, we have a drop gate. And we have this on our alley sections if you buy just an alley section. And with this drop gate now, I can get in and paddle a calf along or do some doctoring right from here because I'm right next to them. Slam shut door. We do have brackets that you can turn to the outside, front and back, and hang some panels on here. If you've got some portable panels and you want to take them out to the pasture with you or wherever you're going with this portable unit, you can hang some panels on to carry out on these panel carriers. In this alleyway, we have brackets that are in here front and back, and a channel iron fits right in them, and right into that will fit the feet of the load bars if you want to put a scale in here. So this alley section, you can close this off and have it, right, it's about a little over 8.5 feet. It's just perfect for laying up a platform in there and using it as a place to weigh your cattle. So this one is scale ready. Our tub system is very unique now and really a nice, efficient way of working cattle. For years we had our tub door came around and ratcheted in and left a pie shape at the end. And you had your last animal or two trying to get them to go to the south, and they were headed to the north. And so we came up with this door and put it on a swivel and a roller. So when this big door comes around, the small door is beginning to roll, and it'll continually to take and narrow up this spot where the used to be the corner of the tub. It's no longer there. It rolls so easily, you can just roll it right on up to the end. This ended up to be a spot where we had room for another door. So we added this door here, and we did have a closure that we put in here. So now you have a spot that you can exit out of into a loading chute or into a maternity pen, or just sort cattle right out through that spot. Slam shut door. And you can also lock the door back. We do have brackets on here for hooking your panels to. If you want to make an alleyway or runway or something coming off of this spot, the hookups are already there to do that for a panel. We do have panel hookups on the tub. So if you want to set panels to hook onto here or here to have an alleyway coming in, the panel hookups are already on here. Our tub has great accessibility, whereas this, if need be, you could bring the door back plenty far for opening it up and getting the cattle in. Just as one more option, this pin will come right out, and you now have a way that you can get in and out of the tub if you'd like to. Besides the other ways that we have, it's one more option to getting in or pulling something back or sorting it out, and it's just a matter that that pin drops in and holds it in place. One of the other things we thought of when we were talking about the safety of the unit is where your fingers are positioned right here. So it's an obvious place to put your hands to push right here, but you'll see there's a good 2 inches of space all along here wherever you go, so you will never pinch your fingers. This just locks this door tighter and tighter and tighter up here, and you have now forced those cattle to go either up your alley or out the side door of the tub, whichever is your desire. At one point in time, we built our tubs with bars or pipes just part way here to catch the latching door as it came around. But we've changed that, making it safer for the animals especially. If you had those short pieces in there, when an animal is spinning and turning inside this tub, they can get scratched or cut. And so we have molded this from top to bottom, and it's nice and smooth. There's going to be no scratching or hurting of your animal. Anytime you bend metal, you strengthen it. So that's another reason why we went ahead and molded it like we did there. A little time consuming, but we felt it was worth it. Same thing with this. You'll notice here, this is also molded along here, as is it by this door here, and up here, and up here. We end up at the palp cage. We have molded our metal to make it smooth and strong wherever we could. Our tubs, whether they're the portable here or if you buy just a tub, come with this catwalk. Easy step up, wide base to walk. Easy to grab a hold of the tub door, bring it back if you'd like to open the tub back up while on your catwalk. This catwalk is nice and wide for walking around, and then it joins right in with the catwalk that you have here on the alleyway. When we were first building these, we did have a beam that ran right on through here, but because we were hitting our head on it and found that that was a mistake or it didn't work really well, we have now moved this beam in, out of the way. Still a lot of strength to this thing, like everything, but now you're able to get in here and paddle your calf along or your cows and move them right while standing on this catwalk, and you have room and access to do that. Our alleyways have a unique feature to them. We, like I said, over the years we had many ways of closing that alleyway in with levers and notches, and we've had pins to pull, and we've really come across a nice design here. This is just a spring-loaded pin that locks the distance you want your alley apart. So there's a 2,500-pound bull. There's a 300-pound calf. You want to be able to close that alley together, or your little ones are going to end up especially turning around in your alley. Now, if you have something that's 500, 600, 800, you just set this at whatever width you want, and it can. You've got many options as to where you want to set it. Just keep bringing it up, setting it at the width that you'd like to have it set at. By having this extendable pole right here that's recessed into the unit now, it's out of the way completely when you're working around the cattle, and it's out of the way when you open the doors. It's out of the way even for doing the neck shots. And this is a spring-loaded pin. And you just put that spring-loaded pin back, pull the pole out. The pin is going to fall into this hole right here and lock. Just a word about putting it in transport. It's one pin, and slide this tubing inside here. One word of precaution, make sure that you have the tubing up and not down when you put it in. Putting it in with this up gives you a lot more clearance on the back end and all through the whole machine. If you're dragging it across rough ground, you want to be as high in the air as it can be, and this works out great to put it in at this point. Slide it right into here, put the pin in. Lock your safety pin in. Do that on each side. It rolls down the road beautifully. We have a little statement that says, if it doesn't say RealTuff, it's not RealTuff.